Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on. Looks like we had a little bit with stream software, but hey, you know what? We just roll with it. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Texans Talking Football Wednesday. The very special show, and I'm super excited if you can't tell. But for
I
you
mean,
guys, I'm
it's got to be a
SAJ.
special show because it's on a special night. So
It is. It is. And right before a special weekend, right? So, um, again, your boy SAJ. I'm actually coming to you live from the Mix 96.1 studios.
good one. It's a good one. I like that one. What is up? I am BD, and today, why don't you take a look at this one. This one, Jay. I'm gonna come at you from the Tom's Rib Studios.
Oh, so
Yes.
good choice. Um, but I was never a real big fan of Tom's ribs. I'm kind of particular when it comes to my barbecue. So Tom's ribs, it's
You know
okay.
what? I enjoyed it. I was a young kid when it was in its big heyday. Um, my favorite one, I always went to the one at Nacogdoches with my family. We'd go there, and there was a basketball card shop right on the same strip center. So we'd go eat, and then I when I was done eating, and I'd just walk over, two shops down, and go look at basketball cards for the rest of the time. So
Nice. Well, I mean, that's still a pretty strong choice there. So another strong choice is the guest that we have
right.
tonight. So this one is one that I'm obviously super excited about because this gentleman has definitely turned the table in favor in Antonio. This gentleman is a experienced veteran player who's going to bring a lot of fire and a lot of energy to the San Antonio Toros. And I'm telling you guys, the league's not ready. The league is absolutely not ready for this guy. So, without further ado, let's bring in our very special guest, Mr. Cam Echols-Luper. Mr. Cam, how the heck are you, my man?
What
My
is
God,
up, man?
what's going on, man? Jay and BD, how you going? How you doing, my man?
Doing great,
What?
man. Thanks for jumping on here with us tonight, man.
Anytime. Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Of course, of course. Well, let's get this started. Kind of tell everyone about yourself, man. Who you are, where you're from, all that stuff.
Well, as I said in the intro, my name is Cam Echols. Sometimes, a lot of people call me Cam Echols-Luper, some Cam Echols. I recently just had a birthday. I just turned 31. But I'm originally from. I appreciate that, my man. Um, I'm originally from the Dallas area. No, I told you guys I got a family coming in, so excuse me as everybody's about to come into the front.
It's all
Um,
good.
That's fine.
yeah, so like I said, man, I'm originally from the Dallas area. I played high school ball in Alabama, in Auburn, Alabama, as I was a quarterback my whole life. Um, I went to
Oh,
college to play quarterback actually to TCU, but I was switched probably my first hour in Fort Worth. We had Trayvon Borkin, so it wasn't much sense for me to be playing quarterback. Um, Sorry, guys.
It's all good,
Um,
man.
no, no.
but yeah, like I was
Oh,
saying, yeah. So I started out at TCU. Yeah, I had a 2.5 year stint at TCU where I was a dual sport athlete. I played football, ran track. Um, if we're being honest, I probably had a more successful track career than I did football at TCU. But track is all about individual sports, so it would make sense for me to have a higher individual success. But yeah, from TCU, I went to Arkansas State, and I set out a year, played a year. From there, I graduated and I finished at Western Kentucky. I played there. I was there for 6 months. Played as a grad transfer, and yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but from Western Kentucky, going into my pro career, actually my first year as a pro, I was battling. How you say this? I wasn't battling. I was going through nursing a broken back. So
Oh wow.
yeah. So after my first game at WKU at West Kentucky, I fractured I herniated a disc after the first game, and then I played that rest of the year with two herniated discs. And then the last game, I ended up fracturing that disc and fracturing another disc.
Ooh,
So yeah, my whole draft process, my whole combine process, my whole first year as a pro, I was nowhere near nor close to healthy to even relatively, make it or give them my all or even remotely try. But me being the person I am, I did what I needed to do, and I, went through my pro day 3 months after having back surgery, which um, I completely rushed my recovery process by 5.5 months.
Oh
Uh,
jeez.
ooh.
yeah, yeah, but I'm one of those kids where I'm very hard headed, and once you sit and tell me the first second you sit here and tell me I can't or I'm not supposed to or anything like that, more than likely I'm going to do it. It's if my body is allowing me to do it, I'm going to do it. And it just so happened that in those 3 months of me trying to walk again, trying to run again, trying to get my body back to able to be in combine ability, my body was, sustaining until, about 45 minutes into my first practice of rookie minicamp with the Colts. And then I guess from all that time, my body just was worn out, shut down, and just said it was time, and my back went out, and I went from being on the Colts rookie minicamp roster to being back home in Dallas within 12 hours. So yeah, that was how my college to pro career started.
Dang.
And we can go from I sat at home for about 6 to 9 months, and then I got a call from Hamilton in the CFL, and I I was in the CFL for maybe 2 years, about 2.5 years until we got to COVID, and then I didn't touch a ball, helmet, a cleat again until USFL, and then
Now,
from there on, just everybody knows my story.
okay. Now, I'm trying to remember. So you were with the Generals and the Breakers, correct?
Yes, yes. So I was with New Jersey from the inaugural season in what was it, 22, and then again that next year, and then going into the 24 season, I was signed to the Breakers, but we had the USFL, what was it, USFL XFL or merger, and
The merger.
the Breakers were no longer a team, so that's when I went to the CFL.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So at this point, obviously, you have with college and the different colleges that you played for, uh, whether it be the CFL, the USFL, now the COFL. Um, for guys that are coming up, right? The young cats in high school that are watching the show tonight. What what advice would you give to them to help them on their journey? Maybe avoid some of the pitfalls that you went through, or maybe just some words of encouragement. Like, what would you say to the younger football players?
Um, Honestly, uh, I mean, if we're being honest, I'd honestly sit here and tell if it was my little brother going through this process or a little cousin or nephew or whoever, I'd sit there and honestly tell him if it was somebody like me or somebody that has experience, soak up as much game as you can because whatever you think you know now isn't going to be worth, excuse my language, isn't going to be worth a damn to what you know 5, 10, 12 years from now. Because if I knew half of what I know now when I was a sophomore or junior in college, I'm almost 1,000% sure my career and everything else would have went completely different. And I could also say and
Very.
say this. Um, you know, being one of those guys who I wouldn't say I thought like this, but I could understand the thought process of this. Um, thinking that being a 5-star, 4-star, or being the best guy in the town, the best guy in the county, or possibly the best guy in the state, that really means something. It honestly doesn't really mean jack mess at all. Yeah, it might bring you some notoriety for that year or that time span, but at the end of the day, if you can't be consistently the same person you were in Podunk, West Virginia, and you go to USC, you're not the same person from Podunk to Los Angeles, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you did as a 5-star high school player if you can't do it as a backup corner at Delaware. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter
Hmm.
if you're a 3-time Sun Belt honorable mention if you can't do it as a special teams player for the New England Patriots. It doesn't, none of that matters if you can't sit there and do it again at the highest level. Yeah, you could do good in high school, but can you do it again in college? Yeah, you did it in college, but can you do it as a pro? That's when it really matters. You know what I'm saying? And that goes along with the same sense of everybody knows the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Yeah, a mother and father is always going to raise a child, but it always takes a coach. It always takes a trainer. It always takes an extra body outside or wherever that helps you mold you into who you're going to become when it's time for you to become who you become. You know what I'm saying? And the I guess the words that I'm looking for is take the advice, take the criticism, take take whatever you're getting from those people and don't use it as an attack. Don't use it as, you know, them trying to belittle you or change you as a person. Use it as them trying to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes as them, or you don't fall in the same footsteps or the same path that they did, or they're just trying to make sure that solely that you're going to become the best version of you.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Excellent. All right, BD, you're up. I'm still sharing my socials.
All right. So going back to kind of your college career, your professional career so far, kind of what's kind of your favorite moment that you've had? A play, just anything, just that one that it's always going to stand out in your mind as like the favorite moment that you've had.
Um, I mean, I've had. I've had 2 or 3 favorite moments. I guess I could say 3 favorite moments. Um, but they've all kind of like are like one is my first all time favorite moment is probably when I was in Pee Wee. My second was probably college, and my third was as a pro. But they're all different because they're all okay. Tomato, tomato, right? Tomato, tomato. They're all different, but they're all the same in the sense of at that moment that let me know, okay, this is where I belong. Not only this is where I belong, but I've known this for however long I've known this, and now I can really just be me, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
I guess I could sit here and say my first special moment or play that I really consider, and I want to say I was in 5th grade. I think, yeah, fifth grade, and I was playing for the Stillwater Golden Eagles. And okay, this may sound like a lie or like I'm just stretching the truth, but I promise you, this is real life, and it really happened. Okay, I got the film and everything to prove it. Yes, I'm one of those guys. I have all my film from Pee Wee to everything. Like I have everything. But no, I caught a one-handed pick and I took it 109 yards to the crib.
Oh, nice.
And I was in like I said, I was in fifth grade. But at that moment, in my head, I was like, I've never seen nobody around me my age do this. I don't see nobody else talking about the kids doing this. So this must be at the moment, okay. I must think or must know I'm one of the best guys on this team. So let's show it. And I guess from that moment, it kind of like gave me the confidence to, just be the guy, I guess. Next moment was when I was at TCU and I took a punt back for a touchdown against Kansas for us to put us up to win the game. So like I said, then again, that gave me just the world of confidence. And then I guess my last would be my touchdown against Toronto. I think it was like week 7 when I was in Calgary. Because one, I'm not one of those guys. Like I'm not 6'4", I'm not 6'5". So for me to jump over you and kind of like catch a ball over you it's a big thing for me, And don't get me wrong. Like I'm a Big 12 long jump champion, so I can jump. But then again, I'm only 5'11". So for me to jump over a guy that's like 6'2", 6'1", that's a big thing. And I feel like for me being smaller than you, you should have had a better chance. But for the fact that I mossed you, fell on the ground, got up, and then still scored, like I was like, okay, this is pretty all right. I was like, I see. I'm not honestly that play alone let me know. I was like, okay, not only can I play in the CFL, but I can make a really good living here if I just find the right coach, right team, right organization to just believe what I believe. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
honestly, I'd
for sure.
say those, it wasn't just one moment, but it was just, I guess, those 3 moments along my career that kind of told me, like, you know what, you've got cut a lot of times, but you sat here and made plays and done things that you can sit and say everybody else has done, but they haven't done it on the magnitude that you kind of done it when your name hasn't really given you a pedestal to stand on.
Okay, cool, awesome, man. That's a great great answer. So with you, obviously, you talking about CFL and stuff like that. Uh, the rules are different. Obviously, we all know that, and we know with the Continental Football League has the Continental Shift where it goes to the Canadian Football League rules in the fourth quarter. How does that, kind of that knowing? I mean, you've played both sides. You've played American and Canadian football. So how does knowing both sides kind of give you the advantage going into that last period?
If we're being honest, it's kind of like being a double spy. Like honestly, it is. It's almost sitting here saying, "Man, I know I can sit here and play receiver as an American, but then again, I know the game as a Canadian, and then we're also implementing those same rules." Or is it the last 2 minutes, or is it the entire fourth quarter?
The whole fourth quarter.
Entire fourth quarter.
Okay, so like I said, implementing those rules the entire fourth quarter, it almost gives me the option to be the most well-rounded out, like however you want to say, a receiver that I can be. It's showing. I'm able to show you that I can be an NFL receiver on whatever down
Mm-hmm.
that you need me to be. I could be a possession receiver, a third down receiver. I could be your whatever guy, your trick and gadget guy, or I can be your every down CFL receiver that you need to be that can go for 1,000 yards in 2 to 3 seasons. So I'm looking at it as, and going back to what we talked about, I'm looking at this opportunity as this is literally the best of both worlds. me being so, like I said, I just turned 31. Do I truly, 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 truly believe I have a real opportunity for NFL workout or opportunity? 80% no. That's what I truly feel like
Okay.
because we all know how politics go into play with these things. You know what I'm saying? And with the fact that I'm 31, going now going to 32, that's going to be the number one thing they look at. On top of no NFL experience, on top of he couldn't make a UFL camp, blah 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 blah. I get it, but I know one thing.
Mhm.
I've made a CFL camp. I've been a day one starter in the CFL, and I've started 10 plus games in the CFL. So you can't take that from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at it as okay,
Nope.
well, if I get an opportunity for the NFL, then we go back to what I said about Kurt Warner. That would be the ending, that'd be the greatest ending to my story. But if I can also go earn a contract in the CFL, that would be another tremendous ending to a story because it's equivocally doing exactly what I've wanted to do the entire time. So this
Yeah.
league gives me the opportunity to show that, you know?
So let's talk a little bit more about this league. I know you have some connections with some of the folks that are on the team here and everything,
Mhm.
but I know you also had other options out there. With all that being said, why specifically did you pick the San Antonio Toros?
Honestly, I'm a man of my word, and I'm really big on loyalty, you know. And me and Stan have a we know numerous guys just in our same circle that played for him at the JUCO he was coaching at. You know, that played with him when he was with the linemen in the spring league. That you know. There's a lot of guys that I know that have played under him or, you know, coached with him or this, that, and the third. And honestly, I'm one of those guys that like I feel more comfortable knowing somebody who knows somebody rather than going somewhere where nobody completely knows me and I don't know them at all. You know, I feel more comfortable knowing that I could call Nate and be like, "Hey, man, tell me about Stan," rather than me having to call somebody to call somebody to call somebody to make three more calls just to get me an answer that could be telephoned back the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, like let's just because that's
Hmm.
exactly how it's going to go. You know, and like I said, I'm big on my word, and I'm a big on a guy about loyalty. So me and Stan we've had talks before Christmas about the CL the new league and everything happening. And I told him I was like, hey man, I have opportunity with the UFL. And if it happens, I'm gonna take that first. But if it doesn't, um, I'm green. It's all good to go. And you know when things hit the fan, you know I gave it a couple of days and I messaged him. I was like, hey. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm gonna get, you know, claimed. I don't know if I'm gonna get picked up or signed or when it's gonna happen. But just to let you know, if it doesn't happen, I'm there. And like I said, I'm a man of my word, and yeah, I'm one of those guys. If I tell you I'm gonna be somewhere, I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be there waiting 30 minutes early.
Nice.
So
Nice. Well, and I have heard that, you're the guy who kind of knows everybody. So it makes sense with, the connections that you have on the team and everything.
I
So,
got a few up my sleeve, man. It just goes back to like I said, I'm an old savvy vet, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm still very young at heart. So just being the fact that, you know, I can I'm like a chameleon, man. You know, I can sit in any room and adapt, whether it's young, old, new gen, old gen, whatever. You know, I can sit in any room and adapt. So man, like
okay.
I said, like, I have a few connections here and there, but man, it's and like I said, it's actually funny you say that.
Well, that's just what I heard anyways,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and from, but we both know who it was, so it's fine. Anyways, um, so you obviously are a Texas boy at heart. You've got that football swagger in your blood, and you definitely play that way. But if we're talking here, right, and being
Mhm.
honest, who do you think your playing style is most like? Like, what player do you try and emulate, or like what players? Maybe you got, you're running agility from player X and your hands from player Y. Like, who do you think would represent what you bring to the table?
Okay. So I'm gonna give you two answers. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna give you from what I've heard from coaches, and then I'll give you from my personal opinion who I study and I try to emulate. Okay. Now, just from coaches aspect, let's just say, so during the spring league, my head coach was Larry Kursky, who was the who not head coach, but he was a receiver coach for the 49ers back in the day. Was Jerry Rice and T.O.'s coach, and DeAndre Hopkins coach for the Texans. And okay, great guy, tremendous coach. Okay. Um, and now, like I said, I'm also one of these guys. You can't tell me certain things because I take off and run with it, and it'll just boost my confidence a little bit. Okay, so being told this kind of just was like, all right. I knew my hands were pretty good, but you kind of putting a little more icing on the cake now, coach. And but like I said, it just boosted my confidence to where I try to I pride myself in never having a drop during a week of practice. No drops for the games. And if I have a drop, I promise you, I'll catch 100 balls after practice. But hearing that, I have hand-eye coordination like DeAndre Hopkins, Odell,
Oh,
Jarvis. I've heard those three from him. Um, I I'm not gonna sit here as far as say it's like speed, all that, but fluid. Me being fluid, how I run my routes, how I get in and out of my cuts. It's very Keenan Allen like.
Okay.
Um, and I guess you could say this is kind of funny, but guys have said I'm a mixture of, if you no homo. I gotta say this for the new gen. No homo. If you mixed Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen and had a baby, you would get me in the face. So that's what I've heard from
okay.
coaches and everything. But play wise, me personally, I study as far as hands. I study Odell. Um, Releases, how I move, like body wise. I guess you could say Devontae and Keenan. Um, um, you guys might need to help me here. He was a receiver for the Bills when Ryan Fitzpatrick was there. He was number 13. Stevie Johnson,
Oh,
is that his name?
Let me ask Google real quick.
yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. I can't for the life of me
It's
remember his
something
name.
Johnson. I know it has it's Stevie or Steve or something, but him, Keenan, um, Keenan, Odell, and definitely Devontae are guys that I study. And when I say I study, I mean I watch them a lot.
Yeah, that's that's a dangerous combination, man. That's going to be really hard, I think, for the defenses to cover.
But
And
see, but that's the thing though.
uh,
I try to make it to
that,
where it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I have a track background, right? I'm an 8-time All-American track.
mhm.
So I know not only do I know how to run, I know when I'm supposed to be 100%. I know when I can use tempo, and the fact that we have CFL rules going to the fourth quarter, that's all CFL is. Everything is a tempo. I'm already running 10 yards plus my
Yeah.
whatever yard my route is. So if you don't know how to use your speed into that, oh man, you kill the CFL game. Which I mean, the film kind of shows it, but we're not gonna talk about that. But yeah,
Yeah, I've got to be honest. So let me ask you this question real quick first before I make my comment, because we've had a little bit of back and forth about this whole continental shift. And let me be the first to say to you, and you watch any of our shows, you will hear me. I'm screaming it from the rooftops how much I love this idea. I love anything that revolutionizes this game, that takes it to the next level of play, right? Uh, Certain things maybe a little right? But the reason why I love this is, like, for example, in the NFL, BD and I are old enough that we've seen the shift. Um, you used to have a halfback and a fullback. Now you
Hmm.
don't have that anymore. You've seen the tight end position switch. Um, you've seen all these different things happen on the offensive side of the ball that has kind of revolutionized the game, right? Well, this is just another step in that evolutionary process. Going to the three downs, forcing, more strategic, more, well thought and well timed precision plays,
100%.
right? There you go, Stevie Johnson. Look at Tim
Appreciate
coming
you,
in
Tim.
clutch. Um, yeah. Oh, and Tim's one of us also. He's a recovering Arlington
Okay.
Renegades fan who has moved to the
Okay.
Kerrville area here in Texas, and he is 100% on board with the San Antonio Toros, and he'll be on the opponent 50-yard line with us, harassing any of the
Man,
opponents that we have.
love it,
So
man.
yeah. But okay, so you have experience as a Canadian
Hmm.
football player, right? You understand the game, you know how it goes. Flip side, relevant experience maybe. Uh, for example, the Texas Syndicate has Jeremy Camp, quarterback from the Corpus Christi Tritons. Great kid. We know that indoor football is a fast paced game, takes a lot of strategy, a lot of skill. Between the two, not you versus him, but a player who's had some Canadian football experience versus an arena football player, who do you think gets the advantage when it comes to this continental shift?
Um, well, okay, so all right, so before I answer this, okay. When I answer questions sometimes, I feel like sometimes it can be taken as, oh, he's trying to be an asshole or he's trying to be sarcastic. But honestly, it's just me being me. And it can come off as a little arrogant or cocky, but if you know me, I'm honestly just being a little funny, but I'm also just being honest. Okay, so
Hmm.
with me saying that, um, no disrespect, no knock to any arena guys, any arena players, because there's some guys who really can play ball who happen to go down to arena. But I've always told myself if I have to
Hmm.
go down to arena to play, I'm done. Like I'm done. So for me answering
Okay.
that, um, a guy who's played CFL will always have an upside, more better chance than whatever arena or whatever you play because one, I'm sorry, but you're playing on a 50 by 30-yard field. Uh, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
yes, some of the rules are the same, but if you never played in the CFL, you will not understand when I say this, that game is completely different. There's like, yes, you may understand when I say going from college to pro ball is completely different and faster, but going from NFL to CFL is two completely ball games, two completely different ball games.
Hmm.
And being the fact that I've played in a few different leagues and I'm not gonna say I've done great or done well, but I've adapted. I have enough knowledge to know that a CFL guy will always have the higher hand.
So
Nice.
I'm
Um,
curious, kind of what expand on the kind of the difference of the CFL. like obviously I think the biggest difference, especially for, it's going to be 3 downs instead of 4.
Mm-hmm.
So the game seems to be a lot faster. I'm just, a lot more receiver heavy kind of. You got to rely a lot more on the receivers in that fourth period for that. What are kind of some other maybe like nuanced differences that you're bringing, that we just don't normally think about?
Well, see, from a receiver standpoint, let's just say I'm stationary, but we all can move, right? If I'm a stationary receiver on the line, I can still move. I just can't cross the line of scrimmage. So I can move side to side. I literally can give you a move before the ball snapped as long as I don't go across the line of scrimmage. I could do whatever I want to do before the ball is moved, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, let's just say I'm in a waggle. I'm sorry, but I'm not sitting here saying he couldn't, but I've seen some of the best DBs not able to hold a fart from a person running a route from a waggle. Let's be honest. If Randy Moss was running Scott by Dion and Rod Woodson and whoever else, and you think they're gonna be able to guard a guy who's running 4.3 in a waggle?
No,
I
hell no.
think not.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So not only does it give receivers more opportunities to have bigger plays and more plays, but it also gives running backs a chance to have bigger plays. It gives tight ends a chance. It gives the quarterback a chance to have bigger plays. It gives the O-line a chance to have more pancakes and bigger plays and bigger holes because they're a yard apart. And you can take more energy, more effort, more whatever into offensive line and D lineman at that. And let's just say in the CFL game, you playing on a CFL field, they did just condense the field down. But old field wise, you had longer field to break on the ball. You had more field to get to the ball. You had more time if you messed up on the coverage, you had more time to recover. You know what I'm saying? And let's talk about the return game. We have a halo rule as a returner. So you can't get within that 5-yard halo as a returner. If you do, that's 15 yards. Well, automatically that's a first down and a half. So you just helped the offense out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I can keep going. You know what I'm saying? About all of those small rules that truly help offense or defense out that you don't really think about.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like I don't watch much Canadian football. We had our little, San Antonio dipped their toe in it back with the Texans back in the mid 90s. That was kind of my experience with Canadian football. I'll check it out here and there, but I'm not super familiar with that game. So I'm real interested in, the differences of the way that game is played versus, our football here.
But honestly, man, like I don't get me wrong, I had some of my funnest, damnedest time in the CFL. If we're being honest, like the game was different, the living was different, but if we're being honest, it wasn't too far off to what we're used to and what our normal is. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't nothing was too different. Like, some things were different, some things were just completely different, but I would expect that when I'm not in the US,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it would definitely just be a little bit different game. And so, real quick, I know I shared these comments before from Sabrina about us yelling at people on the side. Had the pleasure of getting to yell at you on the sidelines, and then she had to, of
You
course,
yelled at
follow it up
me?
with emotional damage.
What did you
Huh?
yell at
I don't
me?
think we yelled at you.
Yeah, yeah, because you weren't part of the whole well when we first
Yeah,
started
you
yelling
you
at
were
players,
US
it was
you
the
were
XFL.
USFL, so we didn't yell at you.
Oh. I was gonna
I
say
mean, we
because
would
I
have.
was gonna say there was a
Yeah.
time when I think I was with the Generals. I don't remember who we were playing, but there was a fan who I got into it with. But the whole time I was trying to tell the fan, like, "Hey, bro, I'll buy you a beer." But literally, that was the whole conversation. Was I was trying to get him to calm down so I could buy him a beer. But yeah, It just was going left. And so I think he finally found me on Twitter, and I told him, I was like, hey, man, if you ever come to another game, I'll buy you a beer. I was like, that's all I kept trying to tell you the whole time. But you just kept saying, screw me, screw me, screw me. And I was just sitting there laughing, like,
Oh,
let me know when you're done. I'll buy you a beer.
You know what? I just say I would, I would absolutely let you or any of the other guys that we were talking trash to buy me a beer. I mean, that would be fantastic. But
yep. Well, and again, we talked about it before the show. We'll razz people. We'll try and do what we can to get under your skin. We'll make noise, try and create the false starts and stuff. But we're not going to make it personal. We're not going to say "f you" or anything like that. We're definitely not attacking you know your family. Like we have rules and we have limits specifically because we understand. I mean, there's a point that we could take this too far.
100%.
And
yeah,
then really, is it your fault? If you come and beat the crap out of us, like we're the ones who instigated that, really.
Right. Right.
And
100%.
so, we may be dumb, but we're not that dumb as to try to fight NFL caliber player 20 plus years younger than us, who can
Right.
bench press with us
yeah.
together. Like I ain't trying to fight somebody like that, right?
I get it. And
Also,
that's why sometimes I'll be questioning. I'll be like, why? I'll be like, some I understand sometimes when guys get like overly mad or overwhelmed when fans are just doing too much. But then again, I'm like, are we really just sitting here allowing a fan to just get us to that point?
Yeah.
Like
I
I
mean, you know
get,
what?
like don't get me wrong, I get it
Some
because
do,
hey,
and
I've been
as
like I've been in situations multiple times with fans, and at the end of the day, I'm just sitting here just like, at the end of the day, if I sit here and turn around and threw my helmet or jumped into the stands, I'm still going to be in the wrong, no matter what you did or what you said. I'm still going to be looked at in the wrong 9 times
yep.
out of 10.
mhm, 100%. I brought up Sabrina because that's my fiance,
Okay.
and that's my partner that I told you has been with me through all of this and has seen mild mannered, wonderful, pleasant, absolute saint to be around Jason turn into
No, she
SAJ
hasn't.
on game
There is
day.
nobody on this earth that has seen that Jason. All right, I've known you for 20 damn years. That guy does not exist. All right.
That's true. My mom's not no longer with us. Like, my sister might remember when I used to be a nice guy. So, but yeah, okay. So we know that you've got a pretty calm head on the sideline. Okay. What about out on the field? What kind of player are you? Are you a trash talker? Are
That's what I want
you
to
more,
know.
silent, just get it done? Or like, where are we at on that spectrum?
um, so I'm gonna choose D for 500, please, Alex. Honestly, I'm one of those guys that like I'm very quiet until you start poking me. Like you make
Mm,
that you do your little when the DB's doing a little celebration when it's a bad ball, or like if I trip and like I'm one of those guys like, okay, if you make a play, you made a play. But all that, the fake trash talking, I really don't like to talk because it's wasting my energy.
mhm.
But I'd rather just like once I start looking at somebody, once I start staring you down, about a play or two, I'm about to start talking trash. I'm about to start talking real, like, fuck, forget talking trash. I'm about to start talking shit.
There you go.
But, like I don't too much just lead off to it, but I'm one of those guys that like I'll kind of let you know. I'll make a catch. I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna give you like, okay, like, all right, I'm about to start up. And I'm getting to a roll. It's either you can, you can either just be quiet or you can start talking back. Because if you don't talk back, it's probably gonna get worse. But even if you talk back, it's probably gonna be 2 times worse. So but like I
Oh yeah.
said, man, honestly, I just like to have fun. You know what I'm saying? So I'm one of those guys that like I know that talking trash gets everybody else riled up. I know, being an energy guy gets everybody else riled up, but like I just like to have fun. I like to hype up my offensive lineman who's talking trash. I like to be the guy on the sideline who's hyping up his linebackers because they made a big hit. And that leads me into the next play or the next series, and I'm still hyped up. But I'm definitely one of those guys that, like, if you hear me in the first quarter, you're going to hear me in the fourth. Like, just because I'm 31,
Good.
don't get it twisted. I'm a Energizer bunny, and whether
No.
I'm going off 10 for 300 or I have 0 catches for 0 yards, you still gonna hear me. It doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's like, if I'm breathing and I'm alive and I'm on this field strapped up, you gonna hear me. But then again, I don't lead off. I'm not this. I'm not the instigator.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not the
You
instigator.
just
You
you
got to kind of poke the bear a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I'm also one of those guys. I'm like, okay, nobody's talking shit out here. Nobody's doing. Okay, now I'm finna go. I'm finna go poke somebody. I'm finna find somebody.
there you go.
Typically, I'll go find like a linebacker or somebody, because a lot of the times you got to kind of pick a fight with a little bigger person to, just to, get stuff going. But it's but
Hmm.
like I be telling people, it's all fair in football. Because at the end of the game, I promise you, I'm gonna walk right up to you, I'm gonna smile at you, and I'm gonna give you a big hug, and I'm gonna tell you it's all fair
Yeah.
in football. Like, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And if you have a problem, like, there's been plenty of times when guys had problems. Well, you can get my number. You can call me after this, or you can come see me in the parking lot. It doesn't matter. I'm with whatever you're with, but just know, if you got beat during this game, you think it's gonna be any different afterwards? Like, let's just be honest.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those type of guys that I don't pick fights. I don't go, but I would hope everybody knows how to defend themselves. But I'm going to go home with no scrapes and bruises, still looking pretty for my lady.
There you go.
That's my plan.
Nice. And just I just want to kind of follow your what you said in there, dude. It annoys the crap out of me when I see a secondary defensive player celebrate, do his little like lockdown thing when there was a bad pass or the
Right.
receiver. They're like, bro, what the hell did you even
Like, you
do? All
didn't
right,
do nothing.
yeah. So
Sure, trust me, I get it. I'll be the first one that I'll be sitting there looking. I'll be like, now, would you be doing that if I caught the ball on you, or I caught it and dropped it, and you were nowhere around? You wouldn't be doing none of that.
yeah, like, hey, if you break up the pass, if you make a good play, hey, do that or whatever.
Okay,
But
I
if
get it.
you did nothing on the play and it just like you lucked out to not get a catch, then
Exactly.
just save that for another time.
Exactly.
Okay. So I have to ask this because I think we've established that you're a big energy guy. We know that Jay loves big energy guys, man. Somebody that matches what we bring. Okay. Have you had a chance to do any research on any of your teammates yet? I know you know Nate and some of the other guys, but like, have you had a chance to do any research on Will Arndt?
So, okay,
Oh,
so you didn't hear this from me, okay? But
okay.
going back to those connections you were talking about,
Uh-huh.
um, I might have a slash in my personnel role. It might be Cam Echols receiver slash director player personnel assistant.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Um,
I
okay.
think yeah, old coach up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
assistant director play, because I don't know the number of guys we have signed, but I'm almost 100% certain I've sent, if not gotten, at least 38 to 40% guys signed.
nice. So,
So
Tim,
I wouldn't say
tell
I've
me,
looked up guys. I just know guys, whether they're former teammates or I've played with them or played against them, or just guys that I know who can play. I've sent them to stand. And there's honestly, that saying, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. I have an eye for a ball player, and I'm not going to sugarcoat you. If you can play, I'll tell you you can play. If you can't play, I'm going to say and tell you, yeah, brother, I'm not going to send your name to nobody. Like, I'll just open your message and won't respond. Like, that's just honest as I can be. But yeah, man. There's no reason for me to look up guys because one, I'm a football geek. When I say football geek, I mean I was first of all. So I'm a coach's son, but not on top of that. Um, I come from a family of nothing but athletes. Um, I was raised by one of my uncles who was all state in Texas for everything. He and this is part of my story that it's means a lot to me is why I started playing the game. It's because of my uncle. He was one of the best DBs in the state of Texas in the year 1999 and 2000. He just had a really horrible injury that stopped him from playing after high school. And man, that's why I go so hard. That's why I do what I do. On top of a few more other whys, but man, yeah, it's if it wasn't for him, my uncle, a lot of this wouldn't be possible. A lot of this wouldn't be plausible because I wouldn't care to do it. But because of everything I have in my background, I have soft spot for guys who relate to, I guess you could say, me and my story. You know what I'm saying? So if I see a guy, for instance, like Miko Dotson, we were teammates in Calgary. Miko was NCAA record holder in interceptions, and I think 2017 and 2018, one of the two. Me and Miko are damn near brothers, man. Like, and so I sent Miko to him, and I said, "Hey, man, Miko, if you're interested, offers on the table." Miko signed, and that's just one of those things where it's like, I know you can play me not only because we were teammates, but I've seen what you've done before we were teammates. And I've known Will before I even went up to the CFL because I've heard about him just from guys that played in the CFL. I've seen him play in the CFL. You know what I'm saying? I've seen probably half our team that I didn't send play in a game, not knowing that we're going to be future teammates at some point.
Yeah.
And when it comes to football, like if I've heard your name from an announcer once, it stays somewhere in my head. And it's funny because there's like Lance, I don't know exactly how to pronounce his last name, but Lance Lejeune. He's on our team. He's a receiver. I'm not 100%. I don't know. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but I remember watching him on QB1. And I was always like, man, I wonder what happened to this guy. I wonder where he ended up going. And next thing you know, we're teammates. So it's like, there's no reason for me to look guys up because me being a football geek, I know exactly who guys are.
Nice.
Went a little different direction than I thought that we were going to go with that, and I really appreciate that. I was just going to focus on the fact that Will's already shown that he's a big energy guy too, and the thing that I'm liking from that we're talking to is that there is a very humble kind of confidence in all the players are, you included, that you're good, you know, and I say this comment, no disrespect, but you're good. You could be better. You're going to grind. You're going to work. You're going to keep pushing yourself to get to that next level. And then there's not any opponent, anything that's going to get in your way. And that's, there's this vibe that I'm feeling from all the players that everybody already kind of seems to be on the same page. And you're all focused on kind of helping each other get to that next level. And you're there kind of, pushing each other, helping each other when somebody falls down, right? And
100%.
and you haven't even done your training camps yet, right?
We haven't even met each other. Like honestly, if like some of us have known each other, but we haven't really even met each other. And I can sense the same thing as from a couple guys as well. But man, it's one of those things where it's like honestly, some of us may be thinking or know this may be my last shot. This may be my only
Okay.
shot.
Hmm.
This may be my shot to put something out there to put me on the field next year. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's one of those things where it's like opportunity is appointed. So we might as well make it the most of the opportunity instead of treating it as, like you said, bottom of the barrel opportunity, like a double A situation.
Hmm.
Because if we're being honest, they had a league just like this, and it was out for years called the Spring League. Nobody was getting
Hmm.
paid. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody was getting nothing. We got some DoorDash vouchers. That's about it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But if we're looking at this, it's like, okay, I can understand where guys are coming from when it comes to okay, they don't want to do this or they're skeptical. I get it. The money may not be exactly what you think you deserve, but let's be honest, me myself included. Clearly, there's some reason why we're not where we're supposed to be. So let's humble
Hmm.
ourselves. Let's take a step back and let's show why we deserve to be where we're at. And let's take these little pennies, save them, and see if where we're supposed to be happens. And maybe we get something else that we can add these little pennies to. That's the best. That's the best way I can
Yeah.
pitch the story and pitch the dream. Is I've done this before with no money. I've traveled to Houston, had to pay $1,200 just to play 6 games, just to wait another 9 months to not get picked up in the USFL draft, just to wait another 2 weeks to get signed because somebody got cut or somebody got hurt and I got signed to the team. To now we're here.
Yeah.
Like like I've I've had to survive for 3 years now playing football to begging and dreaming and hoping and praying and watching other guys to get these opportunities. And I'm just sitting here like, man, I'm not doing nothing with my life but sitting on the couch hoping and praying and being envious of everybody else instead of going out here working for it and put myself back on the map to do it.
Yep.
That's that's crazy. Okay. I want to switch gears on you real quick, right?
Yep.
Because we've been talking about, kind of you as the football player, uh, just kind of, you know, things on the field and stuff like that. Um, First of all, how much do you know about San Antonio, and what are you most excited for to see, do, find out about when you get here?
So just being from Texas, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm 100% completely knowledgeable about San Antonio. But I mean, I know fairly enough just from Texas history and being from Texas and having to come down to Alamo Dome for the U.S. Army camp invite and all that as a high schooler and having track meets in San Antonio and having my stepdad have recruits in San Antonio and bowl games in San Antonio. So I spent some time, maybe some weekends, maybe a couple hours down there. But um, I'm honestly I'm excited. I am. I love Mexican food, and that's very cliche. I don't sound like a butthole, but I love
Uh,
Mexican food.
well, I was gonna say, so you're from the Dallas area, right?
Yes,
So you'll actually be able to see what actually good Mexican food is like down here. So
and I'm 100% on board with that because I can eat Mexican food 7 days out of the week. I promise you.
mhm.
I absolutely love it. I love me some tacos, love me some chips and salsa. I love homemade everything when it comes to Mexican food. So I'm good with it.
Good,
Um, I
good.
love it. But yeah, honestly, I'm actually really I get a kick out of moving to new places and adapting to new environments and meeting new people and seeing how they live and just seeing the environment and just the layout of new places. I get a kick out of it. And like I kind of look at it as like like a little extended vacation.
Wow. Okay. So Sabrina's already trying to pick a fight with Brian.
So
Uh,
some
and
places are, but you go to some places and it's actual Mexican.
Yeah, we
yeah.
not. I see. That's the thing. I'm not looking for no Tex-Mex. I want real authentic
Yeah.
Mexican food.
Okay. Well, in all fairness, Sabrina's from El Paso,
I was
so
gonna say
she
she's from
somehow
El
thinks,
Paso. It's just they've got real good Mexican food over in
Okay.
El Paso. So
Okay.
I'm not trying to knock them. I'm not Dallas's
Understood.
Mexican food all day long. I'm not gonna knock El Paso's Mexican food.
So yeah, we just see
that
Dallas got some good tacos. Don't get me wrong, we got some good little like taco joints. But other than that, it's like it's real Tex-Mexes. We got a couple authentic Mexican restaurants, but it's still Tex-Mex.
well, Taco Bell doesn't count in that authentic Mexican restaurant category.
You're not
So I'm
lying.
just gonna
You're
throw
not
that out
lying.
there. Okay. Um, so one of the things that we really like to know about, I mean, we already saw you're kind of a high energy guy, and we're getting close, to being way over on our time, which we always do every single time we do this. But
Oh, good.
I definitely wanted to know, what does your game day routine look like? What does Cam do to get into football mode to go out there and dominate on the field?
Man, honestly, you'd probably be really surprised because it sounds like a routine, but I kind of live in a routine. Like,
Okay.
like I'm one of those guys that like my daily schedule is kind of the same. And if it's not, my day's kind of thrown off. I'm used to doing certain things about certain times. So like for instance, let's just say we have a 7:30 game. Um, so I'm really big on being well fed and hydrated for on game day. So man, honestly, for breakfast, it's a known fact that it's a couple known facts for game day, and it's funny because my lady can sit here and tell you. For breakfast, I'm going to have pancakes, breakfast, potatoes, and some fruit of some sort. But I'm going to have pancakes, 100%.
Okay.
If I don't have pancakes, I feel like I'm not going to be full to go on to the rest of my routine. If that just makes, I don't know. But honestly, man, like, I don't really do too much besides other than have the certain foods that I like to eat on game day. So my pancakes for breakfast. I like to go back and really just chill, watch TV, and just vibe. But for lunch, I have to have. I wouldn't say for lunch, but like for lunch or like my game day or my meal before I go out and play, I have to have Subway. I have to have
Okay.
Subway. I don't know. I've been doing it ever since Arkansas State, and no, okay. I've done it ever since I had. It was one game at Arkansas State. I think it was against Central Arkansas. I had like 3 catches for like 140 and a touchdown. But ever since then, I was
You had
like,
Subway before that game, and so that's been ever since then, huh?
I had to. Like it was one of those things where I was like, okay, you know what? Every time I do something different, or every time I do something that's kind of like a little out of the ordinary, what I normally do, I always have one of those games where it's like, all right, what did you do? Whatever you did before that makes you do it again. So I kind of just, like I pick up on things like that. So like I have Subway, um, and it's not like a routine, but like I'm big on game day drip, like game day dress, like what I wear for game day. It may be an outfit or it may be like a sweatsuit, but like yes, I'm a very big. You look good, you play good, and it starts by
Mhm.
how I walk into the stadium. I don't care if it's a spring league game, a CFL game, a USFL game. I could take you back to when I was in high school of me what I was wearing on my game day for Friday nights, and I have an outfit on for whatever game. What I had to put on a jersey, I had an outfit on because I felt like in order for me to go perform and be a performer,
Mhm.
I need to have on something that, you know what, now you know I'm here for business.
Nice.
Honestly, that's really about it. Like I don't really do to like I don't have like I gotta go get my feet done or yeah I don't do all that. I just as long as I have my pancakes and my Subway, I'm good.
What
Nice.
do you like to like listen to anything kind of in the locker room before game, before warm ups and
So you
stuff?
know what's
Just to kind of
crazy?
get in the mood.
Okay, so look, don't I swear I'm not weird, but 90% of the time I'll have my AirPods in, but it's just there so you're not talking to me. Like honestly, like I'll sit there in my locker and I'll just be looking at people, just nodding my head. But I'm really just sitting there listening to everybody else's music or just listen to everybody's conversation or just their vibe, and that's what's getting me going.
Okay.
Like I'm really like I'll listen to music like when I'm warming up or like on the field, but once I come back in, I'm kind of feeding off of everybody else's energy and vibe, and that's what gets me going. Like don't get me wrong, certain songs will get me juiced up, but I'm not really a music person that's like, okay, I need music to get me going. Like often, like I'll ride to practice or ride home from practice and it's complete silence.
Hmm.
Oh
And
wow.
I do that
Okay.
often. Like, sometimes I'll forget that it'll be the radio on because I'll completely zone out. Like so I'm not like a big music person, but if I do, I'll play like certain artists, like Rod Wave or NBA Youngboy, or sometimes don't get me wrong, I'll play some old school like Scarface or Tupac or you know what I'm saying? But it's because
Okay.
it's certain things that they're saying that I'm like, okay, I need you to say certain things to get me going right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely get that, man. Um, they're trying to get back into weightlifting recently, and it used to be like kind of angry rock, and now I'm
Yeah.
switching more over to I guess they call it trap, right? It's kind of that vibe of a little bit of rock, but the backings and stuff. There's just
Yep.
something about it, man. You feel that juice, you feel that vibe, and you're just like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm listening to Volkswagen today. Like I don't even care,
Yep.
you
No, I
know.
feel you. Trust me,
Uh,
because I feel you. There's a lot of times where like, it sounds very weird, but I'll just throw some instrumental jazz in my ear, and it's just smooth sailing the whole time.
yeah, yeah, because and I can only imagine, there's probably some times where maybe the nerves are a little bit high, maybe getting to you a little bit, and I could definitely see the
Mhm.
jazz kind of helping kind of smooth that
Yep.
that that
It
vibe
does
out.
because you got
So
to think about it. Like my adrenaline's already about to be at 100, so I need something that's going to at least kind of mellow me out just a little bit, so I'm not pouring over the eggs. So like it's honestly it's a nice little balance.
There you
oh
go.
yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so we are obviously way beyond our normal hour that we schedule, which again is normal for us because we have these conversations, and it, I don't. I say our show's supposed to be an hour. They're never an hour because we have so much fun
There's
talking to you guests,
there's
right?
two things.
Um,
We've never started a show on time. We've never finished a show at right at an hour. So
I mean, honestly, man, you're not supposed to. That's what a good entertaining show is about.
yeah,
well,
Conversation aren't supposed to be scripted. It's supposed to just let it flow.
exactly.
It's
I
supposed to be
I
talking like we've been
appreciate that.
talking for months already.
Yes, and it
That's
does
what we
feel
do.
it does feel like we've known each other for a while, and I appreciate that. I mean, I really
Man,
do.
I appreciate you guys. You
Um,
guys made me feel very welcoming.
well, that's just that's what we do when you're on our side. Now, when
Yep,
you're not, it's a
absolutely.
little different.
I appreciate it. I
But
appreciate it.
one last question, and we'll go ahead and
Yep.
shut it down here. Um, what would you like to tell the fans to maybe kind of help get them a little bit jazzed up, get them excited about this season? Um, what would you like to say to the fans that are out there that you maybe kind of sitting on the fence or whatever?
If you guys feel how we feel, if you have any type of inkling of what it feels like to get the short end of the stick when you know you deserve everything, come watch us play.
Oh, I I like that. I'm gonna be honest, I was not expecting that take, and I'm glad you said it because everything you said is pretty much what every fan here feels, right?
Yeah.
We all know about, losing the team here and everything like
Yep.
that.
And honestly,
And
that's what made me say that, is because I'm sitting here like, you know what? We're going to a city where they lost a pretty big organization with football. Yes, the Spurs are still there, but that's really all San Antonio has. But
mhm,
the population that's there, I know they love them some football.
Mm-hmm.
And
mhm.
with the fact that the Brahmas got taken away with the Toros coming, I'm not. We know we're not going to sit here and get 5, 6,000, 8,000 fans a game. But the notion of it, the fact that we're getting fans coming, period, there's going to be at least a couple more every time. And the
Yeah.
fact that those couple more are going back saying, like, hey, these guys are they're playing some really good football. And not only playing really good football, they have some, we know some of these names, but not only that, it's entertaining and it's it's the right type of football that we want to bring our families to. So next you know, it's instead of it being just a dad, next game it's his family and his brothers, and the next game it's the, you know what I'm saying? It's
Absolutely.
that's how it happens, man. And honestly, like I said, man, if y'all know what it feels like to get the short end of the stick, and you want to come see some guys who not only have gotten short end of the stick, but excuse my language, but have gotten fucked over and screwed over more times than you can count. And you want to come watch some football that you ain't got to pay $50 to stream or to pay for a Netflix or a
Yeah.
Peacock.
Mhm.
Come on down to San Antonio.
There you
Hey,
go.
Let's go,
what does Suge
baby.
Knight say? You don't want your producer all up in your videos, singing your rap songs. Come down to San Antonio Toros.
There you go. There you go. Love it. Cam, coming up. We'll give you one last opportunity. Why don't you let everybody know what your socials are so that way they can follow you, see your journey, how it develops here in San Antonio, where it goes in the future, stuff like that.
For sure, man. Well, one, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate you guys for having me. Instagram is Cam
Absolutely.
2 times CAM the number 2XS. I want to say my Twitter or my X is Cam Echols 17, I believe. Um, I I want to say my TikTok is the same. I can't really tell you. But I'm not a bougie butthole type of athlete. If you comment on a picture or DM me, um, ask me to follow you or like a picture, I more than likely will. So just show love. I show love back. And all I ask, like I said, we're not gonna sit here and expect 6,000, 8,000 fans, but just come out and show us some love and watch where we return.
For sure, man.
Yep. All right.
Well, once again,
So
man, we really
again,
really appreciate you jumping on here, spending an hour 15 minutes with us, and I mean it's been great talking to you, dude.
Man, for sure, man. I appreciate you guys. And hey, if you guys are in the area when we get to San Antonio, let's go have a bite or a drink or something.
let's
Absolutely,
go.
man.
Let's do
Absolutely,
this in person.
for real.
Oh yes. Yeah, no,
Oh,
you'll
you know what?
definitely see
We
us
we
around,
love to
man. I
eat and we
promise
love
you.
to drink, so we're
Hey, shit.
you don't have to ask us twice.
Me too. Me too, man.
Let's go.
Let's make this a look. We can maybe talk about making this like a weekly thing or something.
There you go.
That's not a
Hey,
bad
let's do
idea.
it.
Okay.
No,
I'm
All
with
right.
it.
fantastic, man.
Okay. Well, we're gonna kick you back into the green room. You don't have to hang around. I know you've got your family, so go take care of them. But I'll hit you up on Insta. But in the meantime, we do have to get some shout outs and stuff like that, pay some
Yep,
bills and
sounds
all that.
good.
But Cam, thank
Appreciate you
you.
guys
Thanks,
for
man.
having me.
Have a good
You're the
one.
absolute best,
All right,
man.
you
Take care,
too. Be
Cam.
blessed. Be blessed.
God bless. Bye. Okay. So, BD, another fun interview, man. I'm
That was
telling
great.
you, I'm telling you, man, the level of talent on this team, I I've been following all of this. I've been creating my own roster and seeing all the players that are being signed. I do think we've got a little bit of an edge when it comes to the talent that we have, but this is, if anything, this is triple A ball at double A prices, man. Because the
Yeah.
level of talent that's involved in this league by far is nothing to scoff at. And I expect us to see some pretty damn good football in about 35 games. So
That's
be ready.
crazy, man. Kickoff is in just over a month, man.
Yep. Speaking of crazy things, some crazy stuff this weekend, right? We've got the NFL draft coming up. Well,
Starting
the
tomorrow.
Cowboys.
The NFL draft starts
Yeah,
tomorrow.
the Cowboys draft starts tomorrow. The Packers doesn't start until Friday. And even then, I don't even know if we probably traded those away too. So who knows? It's going to be so painful this year, man. Not even going to lie. But anyways, we're also going to have a bit of a crazy week next week too, right? Oh my,
Oh, geez.
this guy, Teletubbies, eh? All right, that's big talk from a man in a can. So uh, next week we're going to have first time event, right? History in the making here on Texas Talking Football. We're going to have a twofer for Tuesday, right? So we've rescheduled Joe Evans because he had some stuff come up, and we were not super diligent about pushing him to get on the show. So that's just as much on us. But then also uh, we're going to have God bless it. Come on, Instagram. You're making me look bad here. Oh, DeCorian Clark is going to be on. So we're going to have Joe Evans at 6 and DeCorian at 7. So back-to-back interviews, something we have never done on Texans Talking Football. So we're actually going to have a 2-hour show, and it's going to be wild. So definitely don't want to miss out on that. I think now is probably about the time that we should do our shout outs, right? So, first and foremost, shout out to everybody over at Texas Sports Productions. Absolutely appreciate everything you guys are doing for us as they've been extremely helpful. In fact, they had me help them out with some stuff this last weekend. So I got to know even more people. Quality organization. Bobby Stotzenberger is the co-founder. Got to meet him, and then of course, all of our friends that have been helping us with the Toros and everything. Uh, Riley, all those guys. But again, shout out to Texas Sports Production for all of your Texas sports needs, especially when it comes to high school football. Make sure you check those guys out. These guys are serious football nerds. They track every single thing. They know who the next big stars are going to be. So give them a check out.
Yep.
Also, our friends over at Alternative Football Network, thank you guys for everything that you do for us. You've been quintessential. Oh, honey, I'm getting to this part, okay? Um, and yes, you are just saying. But um, also want to give a shout out to X Fan Show. You guys have been very helpful in take us onto this Continental Football League. So definitely big shout out to you guys. Also, Pro Arena Talk. They're the guys who feed us all the information on arena football. And did I tell you that I worked the San Antonio Gunslingers game this last weekend and actually
You
used the
did,
official
yeah.
stats? Yeah, that was really
So
fun.
were they actually
That's
correct
probably
this
about the
time?
only fun thing. But no, they're 100% correct. And they'll be correct again this next
Oh,
weekend
okay.
too, because I get to do it again. So really happy about that. But we'll talk more about the San Antonio Gunslingers. They did lose another one. The score's a little deceptive, right? They have surges where they do really well, and then their defense just kind of takes them out of the game. So they've got some struggles on offense and defense still, but I'm hoping that they'll figure it out. And I have no idea why Sabrina is sharing a broken shrimp with a collar on its neck in the
Yeah.
chat, but whatever. Anyways, uh, last shout out, my fiance, who puts up with all the craziness every night that we have an interview or an event or whatever. She's there supporting me, encouraging me to continue to move forward with all of this. And then, of course, you fans. Couldn't do it without you guys. Even our friend Excalibur in the tin can and everybody else. we couldn't do it without you. So this is episode 152, I believe, and they're just going to keep racking up. Thank you guys for everything that you do for us, all the support you show, all the love, and the QR codes that you scan to get some of our merchandise. And yeah, I think that's about it. BD, as is tradition, I would like to end the show.
My ending of this one, Spurs in the playoffs. So I'm gonna end it with suck it, Portland.
You heard it, Portland. I've got no dog in the fight, but because I do live here, so I'm gonna say suck it, Portland also, right? Go Spurs, go. Well, guys, we'll catch you
You
next
guys,
Tuesday.
yeah.
See ya later.